Let us see a new topic from the analytical and industrial organic chemistry. And this is again a very important topic which belongs to the analytical chemistry and having wide applications in industrial chemistry. And this is nothing but the chromatography. Actually, chromatography is one of the best technique used for the analysis in chemistry. Okay, now what is meant by analysis? Okay, we can separate the mixtures, we can identify the unknown compounds, we can quantitatively estimate the solution, different solution, and that is called analysis. And here, chromatography is the method which is used for the analysis purpose, and it having wide applications in chemical industries because the quality control department of each and every chemical industry require that chromatographic technique फॉर द अनालिसिस पर्पज. क्वालिटी कंट्रोल डिपार्टमेंट मध्ये पाहिलं तर त्या ठिकाणी कोणतंही फार्मास्युटिकल असेल, कोणतंही केमिकल कंपाऊंड असेल, इट शुड बी चेक्ड फॉर इट्स अ क्वालिटी and that can be done by using chromatographic technique, and therefore that chromatography is the best and very important technique used in our analytical chemistry. This is a very important topic which belongs to the analytical and industrial organic chemistry. Okay, these are the photographs. This is the photograph we belong to the gas chromatography. This one is the HPLC, high performance liquid chromatography. This is the example of paper chromatography, while this one is the column chromatography. These are some photographs which can be widely used in industry, actually, that chromatographic techniques. Okay, now let us see introduction. What is meant by chromatography? Actually, you have studied that one simple chromatographic method at BSc 1 level. तुम्ही सर्वांनी BSc 1 level ला practically या ठिकाणी या chromatographyचं analysis केलेलं आहे. You have taken a filter paper. You have taken a filter paper. Suppose this is a filter paper, right? Then here, this one is the reference line. This one is the reference line. Then this is solvent front. Solvent front याला आपण म्हणतोय. इथं तुम्ही sample apply केलं होतं. Then that filter paper strip is kept in a jar which having organic solvent. Then that organic solvent moves on the filter paper. फिल्टर पेपरवरती ते मूव्ह होत होतं आणि मग आपण काय केलं, आफ्टर कम्प्लीट मुवमेंट म्हणजे इथपर्यंत त्याला मूव्ह होऊ दिलं. दिस इज कॉल्ड सॉल्व्हंट फ्रंट. देन दॅट फिल्टर पेपर स्ट्रिप इज टेकन आउट. त्याला आपण बाजूला काढून घेतलं, त्याला ड्राय केलं आणि त्यावरती स्प्रेइंग रिएजंट आपण स्प्रे केला, रुबियानिक ऍसिड, अँड देन इट इज एक्सपोज टू द अमोनिया. When it is exposed to the ammonia, we are having two spots. Suppose one is this is olive green color and second is the yellow color. Suppose olive green means it should be indicate presence of copper. आपण copper आहे असं त्याला म्हटलं, and if there is a yellow color, then it is the cobalt. Okay, and suppose there is a blue color, then it should be the nickel. And thus at BSc 1 level, we have just separated the different metal ions by using that paper chromatography. That is the paper chromatography. Okay, मग तुम्हाला थोडीशी आयडिया आहे प्रॅक्टिकली, बेसिक प्रिन्सिपल किंवा त्याच्या थेरीकडे आपण गेलो नव्हतो, पण प्रॅक्टिकली we have performed that experiment in laboratory. म्हणजे how to separate the metal ions by using that chromatographic technique, हे यामध्ये आपण स्टडी केलं होतं. यामध्ये आपण जे ऑर्गॅनिक सॉल्व्हंट यूज केलं होतं, दॅट ऑर्गॅनिक सॉल्व्हंट इज युज्ड ॲज अ मोबाईल फेज. ते मोबाईल फेज म्हणून या ठिकाणी वापरलं गेलं. दिस इज इम्पॉर्टंट टर्म इन क्रोमॅटोग्राफी. आणि या ठिकाणी जो फिल्टर पेपर आपण यूज केलेला आहे, दॅट फिल्टर पेपर इज मेड अप फ्रॉम सेल्युलोज फायबर, अँड दॅट सेल्युलोज फायबर ॲब्सॉर्ब वॉटर. हे वॉटर त्या ठिकाणी त्या पकडून ठेवतं. And that water which is present in the filter paper, that moisture which is present in the filter paper act as a stationary phase. त्याला स्टेशनरी फेज असं म्हणतो. स्टेशनरी म्हणजे फिक्स असणारी फेज. आणि जे ऑर्गॅनिक सॉल्व्हंट आपण जार मध्ये घेतलं होतं, इट मूव्स ऑन द फिल्टर पेपर. त्याची मुवमेंट होत होते, देअरफॉर इट इज कॉल्ड मोबाईल फेज. These two are the important terms related to the chromatography. One is the stationary phase and second is the second is the mobile phase. Okay, mobile phase आपण काय वापरलं होतं, ऑर्गॅनिक सॉल्व्हंट विच मूव्स ऑन द फिल्टर पेपर. आणि स्टेशनरी फेज काय होतं, तर फिल्टर पेपरनं जे वॉटर ऍब्सॉर्ब करून ठेवलेलं आहे, दॅट वॉटर इज द स्टेशनरी फेज. ओके, दिस आर द टू इम्पॉर्टंट टर्म्स. आपण रिव्हिजन काय केलेलं आहे, how we have performed that paper chromatography at BSc 1 level. मी थोडंसं रिवाइज केलेलं आहे. We have separated nickel, cobalt, copper by using paper chromatography. Now let us see about the introduction. आपण आता theoretical introduction कडे जाऊया. Actually what is the chromatography? This technique was first discovered by, or it is first used by Michael Sweet in 1906 for the separation of plant pigment. Means first time this technique was used by botanist. It is used by botanist Michael Sweet in 1906 for the chromatographic for the separation of plant pigment. Means various component of the plant, means alkaloid, terpenes, then chlorophyll, or so many other pigments which are present in the plant, and he was separated that plant pigment by using that chromatography. And actually that first time it was used by botanist, but nowadays that technique is very commonly, very widely used by chemists for the separation of various chemical compounds. Okay, now let us see. This is the photograph of that Michael Sweet, botanist. Actually, he was first time used the chromatographic technique for the separation of plant pigment. Okay, now in chemistry, actually what is the use of that chromatography? Yes, it is used for three purposes. It is used for three purposes. One is the purification, then second is the identification of constituent, and third one is the separation. Means we can separate the mixture by using chromatography, we can purify the mixture, and we can identify the separated component. Just आपण BS1 मध्ये we have just identified which metal ion is present in the mixture. How we have identified? By using its color. Suppose there is a blue color, then it is nickel. Suppose there is a yellow color, then it is cobalt. And also by using its RF value, त्याच्या RF value वरून सुद्धा आपण identify करू शकतो. And thus in chemistry this method is used for separation, purification, and identification of the component. Okay, and thus this is a very, very important method related to the analytical chemistry. Now let us see some more points. We know that in our chemistry different physical and chemical methods are available for the separation and identification of mixture. This is one of the method used for the analysis. But rather than that chromatography, so many other physical and chemical methods are available for the separation and identification of mixture. Which methods are these? In physical method, distillation. Okay, this is the distillation assembly. Just see, this one is the distillation assembly. We can use for the separation of a mixture of two liquid. Means if that two liquids having different boiling point, then we can be separate that liquids that by using that distillation. By using that physical method, we can separate that two liquids which having large difference in their boiling point. Now similar to that physical method, so many chemical methods are also available for the separation and identification of mixture. Very simple. Suppose there is a mixture, inorganic mixture. That means at BSc 2 level, you have separated a mixture of two acidic and two basic radical. That is example of chemical. That is example of chemical method used for the separation. Then separation of some organic mixture is also there, and identification of that organic compound. Means in our chemistry, so many physical and chemical methods are available for the analysis purpose. But chromatography is one of the best technique used for the separation of constituent from the mixture. This is the best technique. How the name chromatography is there? Yes, it is due to the chroma means color and graphy means writing. Means here we can be separate the mixture and we can identify with the help of their color, and hence name at the initial step name was given chromatography. म्हणजे कलर वरून आपण त्या कंपाऊंडचं आयडेंटिफिकेशन करतो, म्हणून याला क्रोमॅटोग्राफी असं नाव देण्यात आलं. Now let us see definition how the chromatographic method is defined. It is a physical method. It is a physical method in which components from the mixture are separated due to continuous distribution between stationary and mobile phase. I have told what is meant by stationary and mobile phase. Every chromatographic technique having two phases. One is the stationary, which fix, and second is the mobile, which can be moved. In paper chromatography, organic solvent which is present in the jar, it is mobile phase, while The water which is absorbed by filter paper, it acts as a stationary phase, and thus components from the mixture can be separated due to distribution between stationary and mobile phase. This is just a definition for the chromatography. Now let us see general principle for chromatography. This is a very important part. General principle. Here in chromatography, I have told the constituents from the mixture are separated due to continuous distribution between stationary and mobile phase. Components of the mixture, suppose mixture having two components, they can be separated due to continuous distribution between stationary and mobile phase. I will explain with the example. मैं diagram ना थोड़ा सा explain करतो. Suppose this is a jar having organic solvent, then this is the filter paper strip. There is a sample which is just spotted on the filter paper. Okay, now what happens when that filter paper strip is kept in the organic solvent? Yes, that organic solvent moves in upward direction. म्हणजे आपण फिल्टर पेपर स्ट्रिपला या ऑर्गॅनिक सॉल्व्हंट मध्ये ठेवल्यानंतर काय होतं, दॅट ऑर्गॅनिक सॉल्व्हंट मूव्स इन अपवर्ड डायरेक्शन. आणि या ठिकाणी आपण कशाचा स्पॉट दिलेला आहे, कॅपिलरीनं मिक्सचर विच इज टू बी अनालाइज्ड. ज्या मिक्सचरचं आपण अनालिसिस करणार आहोत, ज्याचं सेपरेशन करणार आहोत, दॅट शुड बी स्पॉटेड ऑन द फिल्टर पेपर. नाउ आफ्टर दॅट व्हॉट हॅपन्स, the two component which is present in that mixture, जे त्या मिक्सचर मध्ये असणारे जे दोन कंपाउंड्स आहेत, ते कंपाउंड्स त्या ठिकाणी वरवर सरकायला लागतात. दोन डायग्राम दाखवतो. द कंपाउंड which having more affinity for the mobile phase, the component which having more affinity for the mobile phase, it will move fastly. म्हणजे यामधला जो कंपाउंड, मी कंपाउंड ए घेतो, ब्लू स्पॉट दाखवलाय आपण, इट इज having more affinity for the mobile phase, then it moves fastly along with that mobile phase, while another component, suppose red आपण दाखवलेला आहे, it is more affinity for the stationary phase, it moves slowly. म्हणजे दोन जे कंपाउंड आहेत मिक्सचर मधले, व्यवस्थित ऐका, जे दोन कंपाउंड आहेत मिक्सचर मधले, they having different speed, they having different movement. Why they are having different speed? One component, suppose blue component, is having more affinity for the mobile phase, therefore it moves fastly, त्याची movement fastly होते. While another component, suppose red, it is more soluble or it is more affinity for stationary phase. मग stationary phase बद्दल more affinity असेल, त्याची movement slowly होते, and thus due to difference in their movement they get separated. This is the basic principle. I will explain once again. When that filter paper strip is kept in organic solvent, then that organic solvent moves in upward direction. When it moves in upward direction, it carries both the component of the mixture along with itself. ते organic solvent स्वतः बरोबर त्या मिक्सचरला वर कॅरी करतं. पण वर जात असताना काय होतं, the component which having more affinity for the mobile phase, it moves fastly, त्याची movement fastly होते. But another component, suppose red, it having more affinity for stationary phase, it moves slowly, and thus due to difference in their movement, that two components get separated. And this is the general principle for all chromatographic technique, that two components are separated due to continuous distribution between stationary and mobile phase. One component having more affinity for stationary phase, it will move slowly, while another component having more affinity for mobile phase, it will move fastly, and thus due to difference in their movement they get separated. This is the general principle for all chromatographic technique. म्हणजे एक साधं उदाहरण मी तुम्हाला सांगतो. सपोज 1 किलोमीटरचा असा स्ट्रेट रस्ता आहे, 1 किलोमीटरचा स्ट्रेट रस्ता आहे, आणि दोन मित्र सुरुवातीला त्या रस्त्याने चालत जात आहेत. त्या रस्त्याच्या दोन्ही बाजूला एकदम झाडी आहे, चांगलं या ठिकाणी गार्डन आहे, फुलं वगैरे आहेत, बरोबर. आणि दोन्ही मित्र एकाच वेळी, किंवा दोन मित्र असं म्हणू नये आपण, दोन वेगवेगळे इसम त्या रस्त्याने चाललेले आहेत, बरोबर, एकाच वेळी निघालेत ते. पण सपोज त्यामधला एक जो माणूस आहे की ज्याला त्या निसर्गाबद्दल खूप जरा अट्रॅक्शन आहे, आणि दुसरा जो आहे त्याला मात्र त्या निसर्गाबद्दल फारसा अट्रॅक्शन नाहीये. मग काय होतं, ज्यावेळेस दोन्ही चालायला लागतात, त्यामधलं ज्याला जास्त अट्रॅक्शन आहे तो काय करतो, सावकाश चालतो, इकडं तिकडं बघत व्यवस्थितपणे निसर्गाचा आस्वाद घेत, त्याची मुवमेंट स्लोली आहे. आणि दुसरा मात्र फारसं त्याला नेचरबद्दल काही वाटत नसतं, त्याची मुवमेंट मात्र फास्टली होते आणि त्याचा स्पीड थोडासा वाढतो. म्हणजे दोघं एकाच वेळी तिथून एंट्री केलेली असतात, पण थोड्या वेळानंतर हळूहळू दोन्हीमधलं अंतर वाढत जातं. तसंच इथं सुद्धा आहे, जे दोन कंपाऊंडन्ट्स आहेत मिक्सचरमध्ये असणारे, ऍक्च्युअली हाऊ दे आर हॅव्हिंग अफिनिटी फॉर स्टेशनरी ऑर मोबाईल फेज, ऑन दॅट बेसिस दे कॅन बी सेपरेटेड. ज्याला स्टेशनरी फेज बद्दल अट्रॅक्शन आहे त्याची मुवमेंट स्लोली होते, आणि ज्याला मोबाईल फेज बद्दल अट्रॅक्शन आहे इट मूव्ह फास्टली, and therefore due to difference in their movement that two components from the mixture get separated. This is the basic general principle for all the chromatographic technique.